Hello, how are you? Happy Tuesday. This videos that I'm doing are all about abundance for life. That is a course by Learning Strategies. Mr. Paul Sheely was the one who designed it. He's amazing. I've never met him in person. But today, not only do I want to talk about abundance, I want to talk about, I studied with Bob Proctor several years ago. Excuse me. And of course, I'm certified to teach Thinking into Results, excuse me, which is another amazing program. And he talks about paradigms. And paradigms are what control the way we live our lives, right? It is our internal programming. And a lot of this internal programming you didn't put there, other people did. It wasn't a malicious intent on the most part. It was probably your parents, other institutions like religious institutions in schools, and a lot of it was, I'm sure, meant well. But you, at some point in your life, maybe like I was, you come to the conclusion that some of the stuff that you're living, the things that you believe, you really don't believe. Then your beliefs, as a lot of people say, aren't serving you. They're not supporting you. They don't, you and I will say this, of spending a lot of time in the financial industry and a lot of time trying to create my own abundance. As a single mom for about 5 years with two really young children, little girls, both under 5. It's difficult at best when you feel that you're alone in the world. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. And so this is what Bob Proctor says about paradigms. There's no more effort or energy is required in order to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity. Then is required to accept misery and poverty. And paradigms, what are they? Is it a buzzword? No, it's not. It's one to be seriously considered. And it is, I'm going to show you a diagram that I hope you can see it. You probably won't. I'll put it in you can't, it's a mirror image here. I will put it in somewhere. You know what? I'll put it on my website. And it's about your conscious and subconscious minds from Bob Proctor. It's really good. It's very simple to understand. I know you can't see that, I don't believe. I'll put this on my website, or you can go to my website, which is lisafratelli.com, and send me an email, lisa@lisafratelli.com, and I'll do a screenshot and send this to you. So, because it helps you understand what you came with, the equipment that you have, which is your body and your mind, your brain, right? Your mind is not your brain, and your brain is not your mind. Your brain is the organ that is actually like a receiving device. And that's what helps you understand this. And also, if you are ill, there's so many books out there that will help you understand. People said this to me when I was really sick, that I created it. Let me tell you, when you're really sick and you don't know what's going on, the last thing you want to hear from some guru is that you created it, because you're like, great, well, how do I get out of this, right? So understanding with this abundance for life is not just material abundance, of course. It's the feeling that You have the you have been bestowed upon amazing qualities, characteristics, skills, ideas of that you were meant to bring forth into this world. And um, it's not a religious thing, it's a spiritual thing. And that is certainly applicable in a business, because business is an exchange of energy. You give me this and I give you this, right? That's what it is. Aside from all the marketing stuff that's out there, that's what business is. It's definitely a spiritual game. And I don't think many people believe that, but it is. When you realize the amount of goodwill and prosperity that you're already experiencing in your life, and wanting other people in your family, in your community, to experience that also, it's a letting go of this feeling of aloneness. And I heard a psychologist say this to me when I was at the Flow Research Collective. He said, "You won't have any argument from me, Lisa, if you believe that we are all connected by the vibration of love." And that's true. We are. It needs to start with you. That's why I love this course, because um it's a feeling of keep there's no script here. I'm just thinking of what I've experienced because of this course. And I've done many courses and continue to. But at some point, it does no one any good if I keep all this information and all these experiences to myself. Because it's the rising tide lifts all boats. I believe everyone, no matter who you are, wants to experience this feeling of limitlessness. Say that 5 times. Being limitless, right? Like there's no limits. There's no, but you don't understand, right? When you feel that feeling that pretty much anything is possible. Now I know there's people that would put like restrictions on that, caveats to that. Well, okay, within reason, people who have changed their life and the lives of any never operated within reason. And uh, think about it, most of those people that are historical to us, it's like common knowledge of who these people are. Most of them are probably deceased. Um, they had all kinds of naysayers. And the reason why I'm saying that, the course is called Abundance for Life. It's a it's a freeing feeling when you do these paraliminals, when you listen, when you sit down and do these exercises, these feeling exercises. And it's a seven step creativity. I was listening to that last night again. Even the 7-step creativity, I can't find it here exactly what it's called. It's 7 steps to master to creativity. It's I can't say it's like nothing. It is. It's a combination of many things. It's just well well put together. It's not so, I have a science background. I've studied a lot of science. I've participated in a lot of science things in my life. I was involved in a animal surgery lab when I was in college. I like science a lot. Um, Science will forever be changing. There's nothing bad about science. It's good stuff. But the mysteries of the world, the mysteries of life, in my opinion, is where you really find joy and happiness. The mysteries of life. The things you can't explain, right? There are, well, what do they call them? Miracles. There are miracles around us every single day. And you're a miracle. And when you tap into the reservoir of gifts that you have, that you've always had, you realize that. And that feeling of you hiding it from yourself, you've hid it from the world. And I think it comes, the hiding it from yourself and from others. I believe it comes from our upbringing of people in our upbringing having it's been said to them and then they say it to us. Even if they don't say it directly, they say it, they infer it. You're too big for your britches. Who do you think you are, kind of thing. And and even you doing that to yourself, and that's your ego. And your ego has kept you safe. I mean, they've done many studies about really what your ego is in relating to which organ in your brain, like probably the amygdala, because that's the first thing that's going off in your brain when you perceive danger. The amygdala is the one that tells you, it's the fight, flight, run, freeze, flee, that part of you, that the adrenaline, running away from a tiger many years ago, right? Cavemen. And I know a lot of us, I can't say that I'm there anymore, but I was for years. You live in high alert. I know a lot of people who live in high alert. And I would never say to them that they do it to themselves, because they're looking out there for the answers. And they're looking out there for peace of mind, and they're looking out there for prosperity. Because we've all kind of been taught that. So in my defense and their defense and everyone's defense, we've been taught that we have to unlearn a lot. That's another reason why I like this, because it bypasses all that intellectual stuff that you've got going on. Like, that's cool. But I've never known anyone, I'm probably going to, anger a lot of people who are MBAs, PhDs, degrees out the wazoo, getting another one because they're not making it happen. I know a lot of people like that are very frustrated. They bought into the idea that that's going to produce a better income, it might, and make them happy and get them to where they want to be, right? Unless you're going after a Nobel Prize or something. I don't know, in my experience, most of that stuff is, learning is good, right? I'm not saying that. You can learn a lot of things. You don't necessarily have to go to a university, and unless you're learning, brain surgery or something. But for most of us, I think it's unnecessary. And I'm not against education. I'm just against people thinking that because I know a lot of people like this. Once they get this, I used to think that once I get my PhD, and I get my practice, I'll be good to go. Well, that never happened. And I'm still here. I've done a lot of different things in my life. I've been successful at some and failed miserably at others. But that's life. And that's another reason why I like this program. Because wherever you are, or whatever your thing is that you're trying to get over, create, whatever, you will peel back the defenses that you've had about it. It's and you do all this privately. You do. And the court, when I teach this, it's going to be groups of only about 28 people so far. You know, that's all I believe would be good is 28 people, because you will do the work privately, but you'll see the results of it publicly. That's a good thing, because you'll know that it's working. You'll see it personally at first, you'll feel the difference. And I would never be able to talk about anything or sell anything if I haven't done it myself. And I've always been like that. So that's why, I mean, I could even talk about tapping. I do tapping. We do Qigong, my husband and I. Um, there's another book that I really, really love. It's called Robin Sharma's The Everyday Hero Manifesto. Phenomenal book. Another book that I was going to show you, and it's over on the table there, is The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. That is an excellent book also. And what I did first with both of those books, I listened on Audible, then I bought the book, because I mark up my books with highlighters and everything, and I buy books and give them to people. But and I've read a ton of books. I skimmed a lot of books, but I got what I needed. And those two books in particular are like my go-to this year. I don't intend to read many other books besides those two. And because they're so good, they're so filled with good words, that when you listen to them, just listening. For instance, I studied with Bob Proctor, and I studied universal laws, and I listened to him talk about, him and Mary Morrissey, about the universal laws. And the mere act of listening to people talk about things that are intangible, ethereal, your vibration changes. You feel different. It can't help but feel different. I guess I have lots of sunshine. There we go. Which is weird, because the blinds are closed. So, excuse me. I hope to bring people who listen what I just said, hope. And a brief story why I wanted to be a psychologist. I was going to school, Catholic school. I was 16 years old. I took an elective psychological course, psych course, and the teacher said, she brought in a clip of Dr. Leo Biscaya, who was called Dr. Love at the time. I didn't know. That didn't matter to me, who he was or what he was called. But he started talking probably about love. I don't remember. All I remember is the camera went to the audience, and most of the people in the audience were women. And the look on their faces was of relief. I got this. I understand. Oh, okay. I feel better. It was like they exhaled. And at 16 years old, I didn't realize it, but I wanted that. I wanted that feeling of acceptance, love, belonging. I didn't feel that. And I was surrounded by a lot of people who didn't feel that. This was many years ago. Um, so I'm not going to say any more about Catholic school, but uh, it extended to my home. Not a pleasant place. It was normal. Lots of arguing. Who was right, all that stuff. Um, you know, my parents just did the best they could, like many parents, right? Like all parents, basically. But that's why I went off to become a psychologist. Um, I wanted to figure out myself, and I think the more you know about yourself, the more you can understand others. Because in spite of the fact that people want to be unique, we all are unique, but we're all very similar in many, many ways. And the similarity should draw us closer rather than separate us. Even the diversity should draw us closer rather than separate us. So, again, this course is Abundance for Life. It's trance breaking, wealth making. And I need to say something about the fact that quite a few people poo poo when people talk about money. I just said wealth. I do a radio show, a TV show, streaming TV show on RBN TV. And the name of this show is The Neuroscience of Wealth and Well-Being. And when I told a very well-known person in this area the name of the show, they asked me why it was the neuroscience of wealth and well-being. And I said, why not? I spent many years in that field, and there's not a person that I know, not one, who doesn't have some type of hang up about money. And abundance isn't just money. But if you're blocking the inflow of wealth in respect to money, that's not a good feeling. I know that. I think I've done that a lot of my adult life, and done all kinds of things to let that go. And there's the thing right there. You need to just let it go. Money is agnostic, right? It's not good or bad. It's energy. It's an exchange of energy. It really is. We attach a lot of emotions to it. And somebody once was on a video. I don't know if I saw this, I heard about this. It was a gentleman, and I guess there was a baby in the audience, or maybe he had a prop, a baby, a doll, and he was hugging the baby, and everybody was like, oh, and he said, of course you would do this with your child, and everyone said yes. And then he took money, dollar bills, right? And he did the same thing, like he was kissing it, and they were all like, oh my God, that's disgusting. And he said, so you would treat a human well, but as far as your money is concerned, you called it disgusting. Think about that. Dirty, cold, hard cash. All the sayings we attach to money. Money is evil. It's none of the above. It's green paper. Seriously, think about that. What you do for it, what you do with it, different story, right? Um, there is no nobility in being poor. There isn't. Uh, and there's a lot of people in the world that are wealthy and they do a lot of good things with that wealth. You see a lot on TV about the people that do not so good things with their wealth, but there's a lot of people that do a lot of good things with their wealth. So I'm almost at time. If you're interested, the first course, it's like my data test. The first course begins February 1st. And I think that's a Wednesday. I'm not sure. But the course actually begins it's a Monday and Wednesday night. So I really hope if you see this, you join me because there's a lot in store for you. That's what I hope. Somebody who sees this that has been struggling with abundance, health, wealth, friendships, love, sees this and joins me. So if you want information, please go to my website. It's lisafratelli.com. And you can send me an email at lisa@lisafratelli.com. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.